Good morning to you on this March the 22nd Sunday, which is the fourth Sunday in Lent from First Lutheran Church, your church home. I miss you all, and I really look forward to being able to see you again in church. But until then, we will be meeting like this. I hope that most of you have received a bulletin or a worship folder for home worship that looks kind of like this. And this one reminded me of our stained glass window that we have here at the church. So welcome to our worship. I hope that you had a time to look at your worship order for your home time together with your family. And I would like to bring to you a portion of our gospel reading that you probably have already read, and also the message for this day. So I would like to read to you this morning from John chapter 9, and I will not read the whole gospel. I will read to you from verse 1 to verse 7. As he walked along, he saw a man blind from birth. His disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" Jesus answered, "Neither this man nor his parents sinned. He was born blind so that God's works might be revealed in him. We must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world." When he had said this, he spat on the ground and made mud with saliva and spread the mud on the man's eyes, saying to him, "Go, wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. Then he went and washed and came back able to see. The Gospel of the Lord. Thanks to you, O Christ. Today we are remembering that Jesus is the light of the world. That's what he says, and that's why I decided to meet with you in front of our stained glass window that depicts Jesus Christ. And through the beautiful stained glass, you see the light coming through. I think you find a lot of meaning in that, and a lot of remembrance for you. I hope this image will guide you through this coming week. I, for myself, don't know what it really means to be blind, but I remember when I was in college in Croatia, I had inflammation in most of my eyelids, and this inflammation caused styes to grow on the inside of them, and my eyes were very itchy and painful. And my doctor did surgery on the eyelids during the winter break, and he did both at the same time. Well, I was released home with my entire head covered in bandages, and I had to stay like that for a couple of days. And my mom and dad had to lead me everywhere by the hand, but I learned to maneuver in the house by touching the walls and the furniture as I remembered where they were. Oh, it was such a happy day when those bandages finally came off. Today's reading from John is about this man who was born blind, and he is given sight. But it's also about the Pharisees, even though they can see, but they're really blind. And we can ask the question, why was this man born blind? We can ask the question, why is there so much suffering right now? Why is there illness, disease? Why is coronavirus in the world today. The wisdom of that time and day said that it was because maybe someone had sinned. And in this story, maybe this man sinned or maybe his parents sinned. But Jesus rejects this way of seeing things. In his way of thinking, he's saying maybe some good can come out of our blindness, out of our disabilities. And we could say maybe something good can come out of this time of seclusion from the rest of the world. Jesus said that this man was born blind so that God's work might be revealed in him. And through healing, it really was. Sometimes when we are most out of sight, the eyes of our hearts are most open to light and healing. You may remember the story of William Wilberforce, the man who fought for the abolition of slavery in England. He was influenced very strongly by a former slave trader, John Newton, whom you probably know as the author of the hymn Amazing Grace. Newton realized and regretted his wrongdoings against the slaves, and he was haunted by those that he wronged, deeply regretting his deeds of evil. Physically, John Newton became blind, but in reality, he was able to see the reality for what it really was. Sometimes we are blind when we believe we alone hold the truth, or maybe when we are unable to see someone else's point of view. We may be blind when we close our eyes to suffering and injustice, or maybe to the needs of that other person who is running through the store trying to get maybe a package of beans or another toilet paper package as well. In our story, the Pharisees were blind. They did not recognize the light of the world, Jesus, among them. Yes, they investigated it, they confronted it heavily, but they didn't see the light. Jesus anointed the blind man's eyes with spit mud and told him to go and wash in the pool of Siloam. He did, and he came back sighted. He was able to see. No longer he was blind. You know, this is also a baptismal story. Like the blind man, we wash in the healing and cleansing waters of baptism, and our eyes are opened. The early church called baptism enlightenment and illumination. Jesus is the light of the world, and now we receive that light. And you, my friend, are a baptized child of God, invited on this vision quest. Faith teaches us to see in new ways. Jesus is the source of our vision, the light of the world, and he sends you into the world to shine his light. This week it may be through Facebook, or it may be through texting, or maybe lifetime face chat with someone you love. But this week also take the time to look inside of you and see if there is maybe still any kind of blindness in you. Do you carry any anger or envy or jealousy? Search your heart. If you recognize any blindness, bring it to Jesus. Tell him about it and ask him to heal you and bring back your sight. Today and this week, may Jesus' light shine not only through this window, but shine also through you. Amen. In your bulletin, you are invited to sing that beautiful song, Amazing Grace. I will keep you and hold you in all my love and prayers. We will be checking on you over the phone. Send us a text message, give us a phone call, and know that we love you. Best wishes, my friends. May God watch over you. Stay well. Bye-bye.